Assalamu alaikum, dear seekers of truth and beloved viewers. Welcome to In the Light of Islam, our home for uncovering the hidden dimensions of faith. Today, you are not just watching a video. We are traveling through a mysterious map drawn 800 years ago by the greatest master, Ibn Arabi, into the dark corridors of the year 2026. Is history merely a record of the past, or is it an unread map of the future? How did Ibn Arabi, a sage who pierced the veils of time and space with spiritual precision, foresee the great transformation of 26 centuries ago? Why are his hidden ciphers regarding Istanbul being followed today by everyone from global intelligence agencies to spiritual communities? In his mysterious work, Shajara al-Numaniyya, Ibn Arabi suggests that the spiritual heartbeat of the world pulses through Istanbul, and this heart will face a great vibration at the threshold of 2026. This is not an end, but the closing of an era and the birth of an absolute truth. His warning that the letter sin enters the letter shin is not just a meeting of characters, but a fracture in time. Sin represents Selim, and Shin represents Sham, Damascus. But what is the digital equivalent of this secret today? As we approach 2026, the alignment of the stars indicates, just as Arabi said, that global systems will be dragged into a massive chaos. Istanbul is both the lock and the key to this great reckoning. At this point, let us remember the famous prophecy given centuries ago by our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Latuftahana al-Qustantiniya, walanima al-Amiru amiruha, walanima al-Jaishu dhalika al-Jaish. This means, verily, you shall conquer Constantinople. What a wonderful leader will her leader be, and what a wonderful army will that army be. Ibn Arabi provides us with a startling detail when interpreting this hadith. He speaks of two conquests of Istanbul. The first is the physical conquest by the sword. The second is the spiritual and hidden conquest that will take place in the end times. 2026 is the beginning of this second conquest, a grand revolution where hearts and systems will be redesigned. The conquest of Istanbul with the sounds of tasbih and takbir mentioned in the hadiths is, according to Arabi, a digital and frequency-based battle rather than a physical one. When technological networks collapse upon us like a smoke, dukhan, in 2026, humanity's only anchor will be those spiritual frequencies. Ibn Arabi speaks of ancient talismans sleeping beneath the 7 hills of Istanbul. He predicts that the rare celestial alignments of 2026 will cause these ancient energies to collide with the cyber world. He compares what we call the internet today to a veil that connects people's minds but severs their souls. In an age where digital seals turn humans into mere numbers and codes, Arabi's warning, those who do not return to their essence will be crushed under these seals, should ring in our ears. Now, prepare your minds for even deeper mysteries, the numerical codes that Ibn Arabi wove together using the science of Jafar. Arabi does not just describe events, he seals them with the mathematical language of the universe. In the Abjad calculation, the year 2026 represents a grand cycle of the letters Wa and Zal. In ancient terms, this signifies the great vibration. However, this vibration is not merely the shaking of the earth's crust. In Arabi's words, it is the collapse of the false idols invented by man, the falling of technology and cyber gods. But why specifically 2026? When describing the science of the stars, Ibn Arabi points to that rare moment when the red star, Mars, and the great tester, Saturn, align. The celestial events of 2026 are, according to Arabi, harbingers of the changing of sultans and systems on earth. He says, when the sky takes on the color of blood, know that the scales of justice are being reset on earth. At this very point, we must deeply feel the warning of our prophet, peace be upon him, about the end times. A time will come when a person will be a believer in the morning and a disbeliever by evening. Ibn Arabi whispers across centuries that this rapid change will occur through digital networks, a fitna, trial, that envelops the world in a single second. As for the mystery of Hagia Sophia, the heart of Istanbul, Ibn Arabi speaks of spiritual relics hidden in the tunnels beneath this sanctuary, which he describes as lights waiting for their owner at the 2026 threshold. The light coming from the sea, mentioned in the hadiths regarding Istanbul's second conquest, is interpreted by Arabi as a spiritual shield far beyond what we today call cyber warfare. He shakes us by saying, the walls of Constantinople will one day fall, but these walls will not be made of stone. They will be walls built from the lack of faith in people's hearts. Stop for a moment and think, why is there such a global push to place humanity under a chip or a digital identity? When discussing Dabat-ul-Ard, Ibn Arabi hints that it is not just a biological creature, but a frequency and writing emerging from the earth. The year 2026 is when the doors of this digital prison will be flung wide open. But it is also the year when the spiritual guardians prophesied by Arabi will take action. When he said, there are great blessings in what you perceive as evil, perhaps he was reminding us that the collapse of technology is the only chance for humanity to return to its soul. What will happen as the great reckoning draws near? In a hadith found in Sahih Muslim, the Prophet, peace be upon him, says, the hour will not be established until the Romans land at Al-Amaq or Dabiq. Ibn Arabi combines these geographical signs with the spiritual protection of Istanbul. When the waters of the Bosphorus warm and the sky turns an unprecedented blood red in 2026, we will feel in our very bones that the moment Arabi called "the time has come" is upon us. While people play at being gods in virtual worlds, the true owner of the earth will call out to the entire world from the 7 hills of Istanbul. Another warning from our prophet, peace be upon him, is this: the Great War, Al-Malhama Al-Kubra, the conquest of Constantinople, and the appearance of the Dajjal will occur within a short period. Ibn Arabi likens this short period to a domino effect starting with the 2026 threshold. In this great change, Istanbul acts as a lock. Once the city completes its inner spiritual purification, the whole world will receive its share of this transformation. You have been chosen as witnesses to this great transition. On this path, you must trust not just what you see with your eyes, but what you feel with your soul. The hand Ibn Arabi reached out from centuries ago is a compass to protect us from the storm of 2026. Do not fear, he says, for the truth never sinks, it is only veiled. The conquest of Istanbul is not over. The ultimate conquest will be completed with the great awakening within our own souls in 2026. Being with us on this journey, where we examine these secrets more deeply and open a new door every week, is very precious. If you want these ancient insights and the hidden map of 2026 to reach more people, do not forget to share this video and subscribe to our channel. Your thoughts are beacons for us. Please share your own feelings and the signs you see in the comments, for we are not alone on this journey. As the In the Light of Islam family, we are honored to walk side by side with you on this path of truth. Until we meet again at the next veil of secrets and the next great awakening, may your light be eternal, your heart be serene, and your path be clear. We leave you in the protection of Allah, the keeper of all trusts. Stay with peace and prayer.